They say death is the great equalizer. No matter your genius, your wealth, your wars, or your prayers, eventually the curtain falls. But somewhere in the depths of the ocean, there exists a creature that never got the memo. It doesn't just survive injury, it defies it. Cut it in half, and you don't kill it. You clone it. Tear off a limb, and that limb, if it contains just a sliver of the central body, will crawl away and rebuild itself into a perfect copy. This is not a myth, this is biology. And its name is the starfish. The starfish, or more properly the sea star, is not a fish at all. It has no brain, no blood, no central nervous system. It's a living paradox, simple, and yet terrifyingly advanced in the one domain that matters most: self-renewal. When a starfish loses an arm, it doesn't scar. It reverses time. Cells at the wound site don't just heal, they de-differentiate. They forget what they were: skin, nerve, muscle, and revert to a stem-like state. Then, like an orchestra restarting a symphony, those cells receive new instructions and rebuild the missing anatomy. Bone-like ossicles, nerve networks, entire digestive tracts. It's regeneration on a scale so complete that, in some species, one arm and a fraction of the central disc can regrow the entire creature. A living phoenix, made of tissue and seawater. For thousands of years, this ability has quietly rewritten the rules of survival. A fish loses a fin, it's crippled. A mammal loses a limb, it's a tragedy. But a starfish, it just grows another. Death is optional. And for the first time in history, humans have started to ask, what if that option could be ours? The secret lies in something called cellular plasticity, the ability for a mature cell to turn back the clock and become a stem cell again. Humans have stem cells too, but we keep them locked in certain places: bone marrow, skin, liver, the tips of hair follicles. They're the maintenance crew, the spare parts factory. But compared to the starfish, ours are cautious, limited, stingy. When you cut your skin, human stem cells patch up the wound, but they don't rebuild an arm. Our cells are terrified of chaos. If they start dividing too freely, they risk mutation, cancer, uncontrolled growth. Nature trained us to heal just enough to stay alive, but not enough to live forever. Starfish didn't get that memo either. They possess induced pluripotent-like cells that can reprogram themselves on command. No fancy lab, no genetic manipulation, just instinct. Their genome is like a flexible script, ready to be rewritten when damage occurs. Scientists have identified key molecular pathways: WNT signaling, Notch, BMP, and others, working in a perfect regenerative harmony. It's a biological symphony humans can barely comprehend, let alone replicate. And here's the part that sends chills through every geneticist's spine. The human genome already contains analogs of these same genes. They're dormant, restricted, locked down. Evolution didn't delete immortality, it just buried it. So why would nature ever downgrade us? Why give regeneration to a creature that eats clams and not to one that builds civilizations? The answer lies in trade-offs. Regeneration comes with risk. The same freedom that lets a cell rebuild a limb also makes it more likely to mutate uncontrollably. The starfish can afford that risk. It's decentralized, redundant. One arm dies, the rest go on. Humans are centralized. One bad mutation in one organ can mean collapse. In a way, nature made a deal. You can have intelligence or immortality, not both. The starfish kept the body's power. We took the minds. But now, with CRISPR and synthetic biology, we're breaking that ancient pact. We're starting to wake up those buried systems, experimentally activating dormant regeneration genes in mammals. Scientists have regenerated mouse hearts, healed spinal cords, even grown functioning hair follicles where there were none. The barrier between human healing and starfish-level regeneration is thinner than we once thought. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear the ocean whisper, "You're getting close." In labs from Boston to Kyoto, teams have begun studying starfish gene expression during regeneration. They map which genes flicker on after an injury, which stem cell pathways awaken, and how immune systems avoid panic. Starfish never scar. They rebuild perfectly. No fibrosis, no deformity, no memory of trauma. Humans scar because our immune system overreacts, flooding wounds with collagen and shutting down stem cell access. Starfish immune systems are patient. They don't rush, they rebuild. One landmark study in 2023 isolated a key protein from Asterias rubens, a common starfish species that could signal human cells to temporarily revert to a more regenerative state. The results were staggering. Human fibroblast cultures, ordinary skin cells, started expressing genes normally only found in early embryonic tissue. We're learning the language of regeneration, one protein at a time. But of course, as with all new languages, the first word we learn is never wisdom. It's usually power. Imagine it, a pill that triggers your body to rebuild damaged tissue, a shot that regrows organs, a treatment that resets aging cells back to youth. It sounds biblical, the flesh made new. And yet, it's plausible. Aging, at its core, is cellular degradation, damage to DNA, telomere shortening, and mitochondrial decay. But regeneration is the counterforce, the body's ability to replace the old with the new. If we could amplify that process safely, we wouldn't just heal, we'd rejuvenate. In theory, a perfectly regenerative human could live indefinitely. You'd age, yes, but your cells would constantly renew, replacing damaged ones before they fail. You wouldn't be immortal in the mystical sense, but biologically continuous, reborn cell by cell, decade after decade. That's what the starfish does. It doesn't age the way we do. It grows, divides, regenerates, until something external kills it. Some starfish could theoretically live forever in a stable environment. And here's the chilling question. If we gave humans that same ability, would we still be human? Every myth about immortality comes with a warning. Tithonus in Greek myth was granted eternal life, but not eternal youth. He withered forever, trapped in a decaying body. The wandering Jew, cursed to live until the end of time, saw everyone he loved die. Even science gives us warnings, through nature itself. Regeneration and cancer are twin siblings. Both rely on rapid, uncontrolled cell growth. The difference is direction. In regeneration, the body controls the rebuild. In cancer, control breaks. If we overactivate regenerative pathways in humans, we could unleash biological chaos, tumors that think they're healing. The starfish manages this balance because of its unique immune and nervous systems. It doesn't have centralized organs that can be hijacked. Each limb operates semi-independently, like a mini-organism. Humans are unified. Our systems are interconnected. A rogue regenerative loop in one place could destroy the whole. So yes, the starfish may hold the key to immortality. But that key opens more than one door. Let's say we solve the science. We learn to safely activate regeneration, rebuild organs, reverse age. Then what? What happens to society when death becomes negotiable? When the rich can afford to be perpetually young, while others age out of relevance? When population outpaces resources, and the incentive to have children evaporates because you are the child, endlessly recycled? Immortality wouldn't just change biology, it would shatter civilization. Religions would face existential crises, economies based on generational turnover would collapse. And psychologically, could the human mind even handle eternity? Our sense of meaning is built around impermanence. The ticking clock gives weight to every choice, every love, every moment. Without that clock, without the shadow of death, would we still strive or simply drift? Starfish don't worry about purpose, they just are. Humans, though, we're cursed to think about it. Let's look at it another way. Maybe the starfish isn't offering us immortality at all. Maybe it's holding up a mirror. The starfish says, I endure because I accept change. You, human, resist it. You cling to identity, to memory, to a fixed idea of self. Regeneration requires letting go, literally destroying and rebuilding parts of yourself. What if human immortality isn't about living forever, but learning to continuously evolve, biologically and mentally? Maybe that's the next step in human evolution. Not eternal life, but eternal renewal. After all, the starfish doesn't stay the same starfish forever. It grows new arms, loses old ones, reforms its body countless times. It's continuity through transformation, something we fear, but desperately need. Perhaps immortality isn't found in the refusal to die, but in the willingness to change. Still, the science marches forward. Researchers are developing bioscaffolds that mimic the extracellular matrix of starfish tissue, allowing human cells to regenerate more completely. Artificial hydrogels infused with starfish proteins have shown promise in healing deep wounds in mammals without scarring. There's also the concept of epimorphic regeneration, a process where the body forms a blastema, a cluster of undifferentiated cells at the wound site, like starfish and salamanders do. Inducing blastema formation in humans is the holy grail of regenerative medicine. And on the aging front, scientists are studying how starfish maintain their telomeres. the caps at the ends of chromosomes that shorten as we age. Starfish seem to possess enzymes that keep these caps intact indefinitely, essentially preventing cellular aging. If we could replicate that mechanism in humans safely, we could halt, or even reverse, biological aging. But again, there's that question. Just because we can, should we? Here's a thought experiment. Say tomorrow a serum is released, safe, tested, and proven to grant regenerative immortality. One injection, and you stop aging. Wounds heal flawlessly. Your organs renew every few years. Would you take it? Of course you would. Most people would. At least at first. But then the questions begin to unravel. Who gets it first? The dying child or the billionaire? What happens to relationships when time is infinite? How do you measure a life without an end? Immortality seems beautiful until you realize it breaks every structure of meaning we've ever built. In the end, the starfish doesn't care about morality. It doesn't question what it means to live forever. It simply does. But we, humans, are creatures of story, of legacy. Our mortality gives our lives narrative shape. Take that away, and we risk becoming like the ocean itself, vast, ancient, and directionless. Maybe the starfish's lesson isn't live forever. Maybe it's heal completely. We scar, physically and emotionally, because we don't know how to let go of damage. The starfish shows us that healing isn't about patching up wounds, it's about becoming new again. If we could take even a fraction of that lesson, if we learned how to regenerate without fearing the loss of who we were, we might become something truly remarkable. Not immortal, but unbreakable. There's a difference. Immortality is static. It's endless repetition. Regeneration is dynamic. It's endless evolution. The starfish is not immortal because it avoids death. It's immortal because it embraces transformation again and again. It's not frozen in time. It's fluid within it. And maybe that's the key we've been searching for, not to escape mortality, but to master adaptation. Fast forward a century. Imagine hospitals where lost limbs regrow naturally, where organ transplants are obsolete because your own body rebuilds itself, where aging is managed, not feared. The first generation of self-healing humans may already be born. And as with every great leap, the choice will not be whether it's possible, but what we do with it. We stand on the threshold of rewriting biology, learning from a creature that doesn't even have a brain. The irony is almost poetic. Humankind, with all its intellect and technology, returning to the wisdom of something ancient, slow, and silent. The ocean has been holding this secret for thousands of years, and it's only now, with trembling hands, that we reach for it. So, is the starfish the key to human immortality? Maybe, but only if we understand what immortality really means. If it means escaping death, then no. Death will always find a way to balance the equation. But if immortality means learning to renew ourselves, to evolve without fear, to become more than the sum of our broken parts, then yes, the starfish might just hold the blueprint. Because in its quiet, alien grace, it carries the message every human heart secretly craves. You can begin again. Maybe the future of humanity isn't about conquering death at all. Maybe it's about learning at last to live as the starfish does, fearless of loss, fluent in renewal, and forever unafraid to change. The ocean remembers what we've forgotten. Life was never meant to end. It was meant to transform. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.